That was all. That was 1000% my fault. I started talking about Marvel. They sent their secret agents and they disconnected my stuff.
They co-opted your machine, their device.
That was all. That was 1000% my fault. There we go. There we go. Now we're streaming. But it's funny. Like there's an actual Marvel Rising comic book that came out at the same time, and it's kind of the same story, but they're not connected because that comic is all Miss Marvel, Squirrel Girl, and it's like a totally different story. So it's like, why would you name a show and the comic the same thing when they literally have nothing to do with each other?
That's so weird.
Marvel just has a branding problem. They just have an everything problem.
Yeah. They don't have a good cohesive story on anything.
No.
What was it that happened? What was it? Oh, okay. So here's a big one. I'm actually responsible for this, but we'll get to that in a different time. So there's a storyline where Miles Morales and Spider-Gwen met, and they had like this little fling. And yeah, it was called like Sitting in a Tree was like the story arc. And Kamala Khan, Miles, and Spider-Gwen actually met. And then later on in like Champions, I guess a couple issues later, Miles had mentioned like, yeah, I have a girlfriend, but she lives in another dimension. And Kamala Khan was just making fun of him. Like, yeah, you have this imaginary girlfriend that no one's ever met, that you never said anything about. But it's like, didn't you just meet her like 2 issues ago? So they don't even like have any sort of continuity within like their own department.
It's really funny because it's like that. Yeah, I got a girlfriend, but she like lives in Canada.
But that's the thing. It's like
Miss Marvel, I have to call her the Kamala Khan Miss Marvel because she's not the real Miss Marvel. She's like on 5 teams and like in 6 different books, and she's a different character in each book.
No, she's the same character in each book. Horrible.
But the way she's written, it's like literally like there's no cohesiveness between the titles
or like timelines. Like how's she on this team, but yeah, she's doing stuff on this team.
She's on the Avengers. She's on the Champions. She's on Loki's brand new intergalactic Avengers team, and she has her solo book.
Ridiculous. Wow.
So she's in all these.
She's the new Wolverine.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But not cool or anything. She gets big.
But don't worry, they have the answer. They're gonna have different covers. That's what's gonna solve Marvel's problem.
Did you see the new Ant-Man cover? It's the most ridiculous gimmick ever. It's like 9 issues of the same cover, but Ant-Man's getting a little bit smaller in each issue, and those are all variants.
No. How about do 2 or 3 of them? 2 or 3 would have been the max for that.
It's seriously like 8 or 9. Like I even posted on our Twitter when our local comic book shop. They have stacks and stacks and stacks of those lenticular covers. They did where it was like the old cover. When you move it, it's the new one.
Yeah.
They have probably a couple hundred of those.
Buying them.
And Marvel, that shop is stuck with those. They don't take returns. They don't care.
No.
They overship. They ship stuff and gimmicks and start number ones like 50 times over.
We're having a comic book shop close at least 2 or 3 a week now. It's ridiculous.
That would be sad because if the shop that's closest to us closes, then the nearest one is like 2 hours away.
Yeah.
That's a journey.
Yeah, just a bit.
But yeah, comic book shops, I feel bad for them, but do you think it's just going to be online and direct sales?
Might be.
It might be. Right now what we're seeing is there's a lot of people eschewing the normal production method and just going straight to Indiegogo and Kickstarter in order to sell their stuff. I think that may eventually be the way, just cutting out the publisher altogether.
And you just kind of become your own publisher.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And the thing is, it's like where now comics are starting to become like, they used to be the everyman thing. Now it's just like that, I want to say artisanal, that the expensive ice cream, you only get every once in a while and you pick the exact one you want.
Yeah. Because
mass market sales is just not going to work anymore.
Nope.
No.
I know there's, like I mentioned before, alternative comics, they're $1.25.
Yeah.
And they want to sell them like in news racks, the news spinners. They want to sell them at Walmart and stuff. I don't think people care anymore. It sucks because I grew up with it. That was the thing. Being a kid and buying Marvel Flair cards, watching X-Men on Saturday morning.
I remember I was a kid and I lived next to a gas station when I was like 11 or 12, and I'd go buy the old G.I. Joe comics, Transformers, all that.
Doesn't happen anymore.
Nope. Yeah, no more going to the arcade and going to the comic book shop afterwards. And I love those days, man. That was awesome.
Oh man, the nickel arcades were great.
Where we grew up, there was an arcade machine in everywhere. Every gas station, every grocery store had an arcade machine.
Yeah, and every Street Fighter 2 always.
Yeah.
Or was Aliens versus Predator was the other one?
Oh. Yeah.
I love the art style of that one. Like the two human characters were cool. They're like cool, like anime style characters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we went to one time. Me and Chris went to our weekend arcade place that they have like in a couple towns over, and we had just Predator. We just beat it. We just went all the way through. And we're gonna beat this.
Yeah, because it was $7 up front, and all the games were free.
Yeah.
So we just sat there and we played it from beginning to end, and then beat the game.
Finally beat it.
That would have been like $50 in quarters. That would have been so many quarters. But again, just like how arcades have changed, they don't really exist. And like you said, it was like it's like a pop-up arcade that comes around every couple of months.
Yeah,
that's how comics are now. They're just like this bygone era. The internet sells, you know.
Yep.
And people wait for graphic novels. People want omnibuses. They want these giant books. No one wants to buy the single floppies.
Nope.
I feel bad. And then those comic book store owners have been there for ever. I mean, our local comic book store, it changed names a couple times, but it's been there for
that was there about since the early 90s.
Yeah, it's been there for a long time, but I would be sad to see it go.
Yeah.
They seem to do well.
Yeah, well, because they have like tournaments. That's what you got to do. Pokemon tournaments, you know, Magic Gathering, stuff like that. You got to, man.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, Dungeons and Dragons.
Well, it's funny thing is Dungeons and Dragons, to segue a little bit.
Yeah.
We brought up She-Ra in the past, and we're like, man, she like self-inserts these characters. Then she straight up admits it.
Yeah.
She was talking to Entertainment Weekly, I think, and she's like, yeah, I used my old D&D characters as characters in my new show. Ouch, and then she says these characters were based off herself. Like you're ripping yourself off.
Wow. You might as well just have made her own new property then.
Yeah, at that point. And see right here, I was an avid D&D'er. Noelle Stevenson couldn't help putting a little bit of herself in her Netflix reboot of She-Ra. Stevenson revealed that one of her She-Ra characters was actually adapted from her own Dungeons & Dragons character, a trifling warlock Nightmare Baby.
Oh, she actually named it Nightmare
I want to be referred to that from now on. The trifling warlock Nightmare Baby.
The Nightmare Baby podcast brought to you by...
Sounds like a really bad morning sickness.
I got Nightmare Baby syndrome. And then she goes on to say, this is where this is telling for these types of people. There's certain types of, mindsets. This character, which is based off herself, her backstory is she was a teenager who sold her soul to the devil to make her mom mad. This speaks volumes about you, Noelle. It really does.
That's bizarre.
I base a character off me to make my mom mad.
Yeah.
That's awful. I feel sorry for you and your mom. I hope you have a decent relationship, but it doesn't sound like you do.
And not do it to one of my fandoms that I love, She-Ra. You're messing. Why?
Yeah, she admittedly said she was looking for a show that had a mainly female cast. She-Ra came up and she looked at it and said, "Okay, I can do that." She literally had no idea what it was.
It's insane. It's crazy.
Why would you? Why would you do that? Why would
No.
you take a property you didn't care about? Like you were saying earlier with Marvel, they're getting people to take over characters and they know for a fact that they don't care about them.
No.
Yep.
So they can do whatever they want to them because there's no connection.
So they can get 100% women in the writer's room.
That's probably the next step.
Yeah.
That's what makes things so much better.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's got to be diverse women.
Yeah, and I only saw white women in that room.
Oh, Tom.
How again? Like I brought this up in the past. How far down the rabbit hole do you go with that idea of diversity? Because if you say, "Oh, it's all women," what about Hispanic women? What about Asian women? What about Hispanic women that are pregnant and have 4 other kids?
How far in the rabbit hole do you go?
How many different fissures do you make to where you have to satisfy everyone? You can never do it.
Oh, now I'm gonna have a quadriplegic bitches.
Yeah, you can't do it.
It would be like an example, like it'd be like if you wanted to do a panel at a convention, and I'm going to put all these ideas in there, and I'm going to even put things I don't even like. Then why are you suggesting them? Then why do a panel you might not like? It doesn't make any sense.
Which has happened to us a couple times.
Oh yeah, believe me, terrible.
You go to a con and someone runs a panel, and the first thing they say is, "Oh, I really didn't want to do this." What the hell did you do it?
Yeah,
I'll leave then.
Yeah,
I needed the money for Coke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, then speaking of the convention scene, if you're doing a panel, don't eat during your panel. It's rude.
Oh, geez.
The people up on the panel board, people were eating.
Yeah.
It's so weird, but it's just I don't know. Is it a generational thing where we just don't have like basic respect for people when you're speaking to them and nothing.
Yeah. I just wish this wasn't in our fandoms. We don't have to talk about it, but it's everywhere.
Oh, I wish I never had to talk about She-Ra and how Noel Stevenson's kind of a freak.
Yeah.
But no, you keep bringing it up. You keep making it a point that I just ripped off a D&D character I made up when I was 12. Come on.
Ridiculous. Yeah, exactly. Very weird.
There was a funny thing. Oh, man, I got to bring up this other screenshot. Going back to Spice Garden, one of the ladies working on it is an odd person. She used to tweet about how she would date married men that were like 20 years older than her, and how she like loves doing that.
Wow, what a weird thing
to talk about. And she would always, and another thing is too, he had cancer, and she like loved the idea that he was like dying and he was married.
Oh, that was what's her face? Cancer lady with the mental illness haircut.
Yeah. I'm trying to find. I know I saved the screenshot, but it's a little weird. You're sharing things about your personality that make me think I don't want to ever be involved with you. Like I don't want to know you.
The fact that you're sharing that with the world, that just tells you what kind of, I don't know, damage you have.
I just think, I don't know why you would ever want to tell.
Yeah, that's stuff. You're gonna do that. I mean, as bad as it is, keep that to yourself. Don't compound the problem.
But this is the front runner for a children's show.
I know.
And she openly posts this on Twitter, so no one like dug into her life to find these secret things about her. No, she put it out there for everyone to see.
And she's happy. She's fine with it.
Yeah, look, what's this right here? Kate Lath. I like what romance means to us, and it's a picture of her all tied up and bound, like they have like a bondage relationship. What the hell?
We don't even know this. TMI, everybody.
I don't need to know this about you.
Well, but we live in this world where I gotta tell everyone everything. I think everyone has to know every little detail about my life.
Yeah, my experience. What's this one? Cancer in general. Yeah, she keeps talking about how he has cancer and he's my boyfriend. Is that sympathy points? That weird kind of Munchausen syndrome, kind of like, I'm dating a guy with cancer. I'm
so bad for me. What? And he's married. What the heck's wrong with you?
And she posted a picture of her like touching tongues with another girl, like one of the other writers. Like, what the hell?
This is what I want on my Crunchyroll shows. This is exactly what I want.
But that's just entertainment. I mean, and we did our first She-Ra video, and we titled it "The Slow Death of Femininity in Media," and people gave us a ton of crap for that. But it's kind of true. It's slowly but surely eroding.
Mm-hmm. But the problem is they're like locusts. They'll go on to the next thing. That's what they'll do. The next fandom. That's what they do. They don't care.
Even in wrestling, it's happening.
Oh yeah.
Like WWE wrestling is starting to get like feminist type stuff.
Yeah.
It's the most like quote unquote like masculine thing. A bunch of half naked dudes slamming into each other is getting invaded by feminists. It's ridiculous. Yeah. And it's every little bit of pop culture media.
Yeah, they want their foothold.
They don't care if it falls apart. They had no stake in the game.
They don't want them to be positions of power. They want to be positions of influence, and that's what these are.
Is it okay for a woman to be beautiful in media today?
It should be.
It should be, but it seems that any type of character that isn't like a real person, so they can't make Scarlett Johansson ugly. They can, but they won't do it. But like in a comic book, in a cartoon, in a D&D handbook, you can't have a beautiful woman.
Yeah, it's frowned upon, which is weird. Because I mean, you shouldn't like, I guess, I don't know, glorify it, but you shouldn't also like be like, oh, it's horrible that you look like this.
And the thing is, I used to be like, I'll say about 10 years ago, like, man, you know what? But I was an anime fan, like, wow, there's so much fan service, so much stuff. Nowadays, forget it, bring it on. I want it all. It's Marvel and stuff has killed that part of me so bad. I want it to completely the other way around.
Yeah, because I remember the X-Men cartoon series. When they would have the females on there, they were drawn,
90s style.
90 style, so they were more like top heavy and stuff like that. And now I think about it, I'm like, yeah, but now they're literally cut. Like they're flat and they look like men.
Gross looking.
And they don't act like women. They don't. It's just weird. And you sit there and you realize, like, man, just go back in time.
One of the arguments people would always throw at us when we make She-Ra videos is, well, I look like that girl, so I can identify more with her. What do you think of the idea that you can only identify with a character that looks like you?
That's stupid, silly. I can identify with anyone because we're all human beings. In the end, that's the thing.
And it's important that she looks this way because there's girls that look like that. I'm pretty sure I grew up with heroes that look nothing like me.
Yeah,
I love Bishop,
I'm pretty
Nightcrawler.
yeah.
Growing up in the 80s, oh, there's feedback. But there was always like team groups that had like lots of diverse characters. Look at Centurions had just diverse characters. Defenders of the Earth had diverse characters. Even Ghostbusters, going back to them, had diverse characters. So all my heroes never really looked like me.
Yeah, not once did I say, I would love Nightcrawler more if he was just a Mexican guy.
Exactly.
Never. He was a blue demon person. It never made that visual connection to where it has to look like me. And I almost want to think that maybe you're kind of pathetic if that's the only thing you see in a character
Is the physical.
in your hero is their physical appearance.
That's kind of sad.
And it breaks my heart to think that you can't enjoy fiction.
Yeah, because it shouldn't. I mean, it really, when it comes down to it, should be caring about the character's inner personality, their inner struggles, and stuff like that. That's why he draws you to that character, not necessarily what.
Well, I remember even me growing up, and I'm like in my young 40s, early 40s, and I grew up, looking at Luke Cage, Black Panther, all those characters. I liked them; they were cool. I never thought, why would I care?
I think Iron Fist and Luke Cage. That was a cool team.
That was a cool dynamic.
I liked that team growing up. That was like into comedy.
Yeah, in the live action version, they haven't really dabbled in that too much, a little bit, but I would like to see more of that.
And speaking about talking down to our fans, like EA has gone off the rails with Battlefield 5. Have you seen like all the crap with that, Brian? About like
yes, I've been following that very, very closely.
It's so stupid that you had people coming out saying, "Well, if you don't like it, it was never meant to be a history book." No, but there's supposed to be the illusion of realism. When I see a lady with a prosthetic arm, a samurai sword, and blue face paint running around England in World War II, it makes me feel like, what the hell am I looking at?
Yeah, what am I playing?
I was generally excited for the game.
Yeah, the realism just going out the window. And you play the early ones were nothing like that. They were actually trying to keep into a story, something about World War II. And then I remember when you even died, they would have quotes.
Yeah.
I love those from philosophers, people of war, all that stuff.
So instead of saying, well, we're trying to take a different direction, they did the Marvel approach. You're a misogynist, you're a racist, you're this, you're that, you're an idiot, don't buy the game. And look what happened.
Yeah.
80% behind Call of Duty and pre-orders.
And
the thing, they would have learned their lesson from Mass Effect.
Nope.
Yeah.
But not only that, look at it. If you want to do thing about women in World War II, why don't you Russia? They have plenty of women soldiers. Do that. You could have did that. I mean, come on.
But you can't show Russia in a positive light. Well, you can't do that right now.
Oh, I know, right? So stupid.
Yeah.
No, you can't do that.
Yeah, they weren't allies or anything.
All I know is
Russia's got like some of the most badass women in history.
Yeah.
Yes.
Was that sniper chick?
Yeah, she killed like 200 German soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was stacking them 10 high.
Yeah.
I have to admit, I love America and all, but whenever you play a game and you do the battle for Stalingrad, you just feel so Russian because you want to beat those Nazis. You want to push them back.
Which one was that? Was that a Call of Duty?
I think
the one where you're in Berlin and then you knock down the Nazi flag and then you raise it. I felt inspired.
Yeah,
it was cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
But now it's just, now I'm gonna be a lady with a prosthetic arm. Like, why would they let her on the battlefield if she can't operate a firearm correctly?
Maybe she would be like a French resistance fighter, but she sounds British, so why would they?
And she's working a bolt action rifle with a prosthetic arm. I mean, that is pretty badass if you can pull that off. I mean, you're sure you can train.
They had to give her a handicap, of course, and make a female, and she's just so amazing, and it's like, okay, how many times do we have to see this in media over and over again?
And then they end up saying something really stupid. I wish we would have put women in Battlefield 1. You did. There was whole missions in Battlefield 1 in the single player where you played as a woman. So what the hell are they even talking about?
It's not enough, though. They got to do more. I don't know.
I was really looking forward to it. I don't think I'm going to play it right away, if I play it at all.
Well, didn't they also add like the Fortnite element to it too?
Oh no, that's a Call of Duty. They're doing like a battle royale.
Okay.
I can't stand battle royale games.
No.
They've never been my thing. But yeah, do you think then they blame everyone else? It's again, you attack the fans, you lose sales.
They literally told people to not buy it.
Yeah.
Why are they surprised?
No one bought it.
No one bought it. Those bastards listen to me.
No, it's like being in an abusive relationship. Well, then you're gonna come back to me. I mean, no, you're being mean. Why would I want to? Wonder why you don't come back.
Yeah, it's almost like, oh, they're too stupid, they'll buy it anyways.
Yeah,
we're getting smart with our money now. The people don't have money to throw away on $60 in a game and DLC and map packs. Well, I'll spend my money somewhere else.
Me personally, I haven't bought a $6 game in years. I always wait until they get cheaper. That's just how I am.
I did buy Mass Effect Andromeda day one because I love Mass Effect, but it just felt like, oh, geez, those faces were so bad.
Yes, they
Oh,
were.
God, those faces were so bad. Kat, what was her name? Anderson, was it?
Yes, I think it was Anderson was the worst. She had the clown makeup on and red blush on her cheeks.
And like blue eyeshadow.
It was horrible.
Listen, don't outsource your game to other people. If you have a game like that, don't do that with your friends.
Especially something that's RPG driven.
Especially when Mass Effect Andromeda, they were promising, oh, our facial animations are going to be the best ever.
Don't ever do that.
And then they come out with that, and I'm like, oh no.
And wasn't there another controversy with there was a transgendered character in there, and then it wasn't good enough, or
it's never good enough. No.
I'm trying to remember now. Mass Effect Andromeda.
Yeah, there was a character like on one of the space stations that was like transgendered. If you asked the right kind of questions, like it came up.
Well, I know there was one in Dragon Age,
which is cool.
Yeah, there was one in Dragon Age. Can't remember the person's name now.
I vaguely remember it.
Yeah, but he would be one.
Yes, but that's the thing with EA. I just think, how many companies have to lose money before they realize what's the thing we did wrong? Oh, we all talk crap to our fans. Do you think that could be it? No. It had to be something else.
And this is on the thing with that's for the Star Wars game. So you're just keep compiling yourself here with loot boxes and everything.
Battlefront 2.
Yeah,
that was terrible.
They lost.
It looked pretty. I played it for a little bit, but the whole thing like luck-based leveling, like, are you kidding me? Oh man. So like that's the thing. You have video games, movies, comic books. I mean, what other medium can get infected with this whole go woke, go broke mentality? Fast food restaurants. I don't know what to say.
It's getting there. Don't worry. They're working on it. They're gonna find something new.
All I know is once they come for porn, we're all doomed.
Yeah, I know, right?
They have a video just of you shaming you for watching this. What the heck?
You have to watch a 10-minute shame video before you can click on play. It hooks up to your camera so it knows when you're looking.
And then you have to perform different apologies every minute just before you get to watch it.
Oh, the apologies.
Yeah, the apologies.
There was one. Oh, it was for, I think it was in Cyberpunk. Someone says, "I want an apology, even if they do give it the right way, I won't accept it." And what was the point?
Yeah,
it's so stupid. Yeah.
What was this right here? See, Dice says it's a shame they didn't add women to Battlefront. But like I said, everyone quoted like it was on that VGA 24/7. But there is. Like, I don't know what they're. Did they mean in multiplayer? I don't know if you could be a woman in multiplayer. I didn't really think about it.
But why does that even matter in the end?
I just knew you could ride a horse and jump on a plane. I thought that was fun.
Exactly.
You ever see that video where the guy had the horse on the plane? And, like, it was balancing it? That's realism. And they kind of blamed, like, what happened with Titanfall 2. What happened with Titanfall 2 was everyone was so disdained with Titanfall 1, they didn't want to give it a chance. But that was a good game.
It was a very good game.
It's super hella cheap too. You can get it for like $10. But I just it's never been a better time to be a fan of things, and it's never been a worse time.
Yeah. Because
there's so much technology and so many people can create, but there's so much garbage. I don't know. I feel bad.
It feels like the freedom of all these devices to make and create your content is not being caught up with the people trying to block people and to shame people and to make people not want to do those things. It's weird. It should be both, but they're not accelerating at the same rate. And we're actually de-evolving in the other way. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Thoughts and ideas.
Yeah, and it's funny because if you think about the 80s, it was the other way around. It's so funny that you didn't have the technology yet to catch it where, oh, your cell phone, like we're doing this podcast now, you know?
Exactly.
with this computer laptop with our camera.
Yeah, everyone needed a mountain of equipment to do something.
Yeah, crazy.
But it's so funny that we get these kind of like these groupthink mobs on Twitter and social media. I've never liked social media more and hated it at the same time. It's cool to interact with people and share things that you find, but then you're like, it's like a minefield because you make one slip up and the right people hate you, you're done.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Social media is terrible because you lose nuance in your posts all the time.
Mm-hmm. Because I even, I've told people before, like, it's not so much what you say, it's how you say it, but you can't, there's none of that nuance exist in a text. So if you were trying to be a little more sarcastic, a little more funny, it doesn't come over, like that doesn't work. And
it's always dry.
Yeah.
It's always like boom.
It's like the greatest, I said, Twitter is the greatest misinformation tool of all time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you shouldn't be really getting your information 140 characters at a time. I don't know. Call me crazy that you should be more involved in something before you like love it or hate it. I don't know. It's just, it's cool to be constantly updated, but then it's terrible that it ruins lives. Whole careers have been destroyed on Twitter.
Yep. And if it's true or not.
Ruins lives, ruins friendships, get easily turn people against each other. It's just not sustainable long term. I actually have only recently come back to social media just so I can do marketing for Rags. And then once we get done with our run, I'm nuking social media and getting away from it because it causes so much unnecessary stress in your life.
Oh, yeah,
I agree. It's like a venom. It could be a viper in your pocket.
No, it's even there's so many times, like even like on our YouTube videos, I read every comment, and you got to let it roll off your back a lot of times. But sometimes there's these people, and you just feel like you have to defend yourself, and then you end up in this never-ending. I type 3 things, they type 4 things, and it just goes back and forth. You know what? No, it's never going to go anywhere. I can't explain my position because I'm not speaking to you face to face.
Yeah, well, and also when you're face to face with someone, there's a totally different demeanor.
Oh yeah, the people wouldn't talk the way they do.
Oh yeah, behind their computer, or their media device.
Yeah, because I like the idea of interacting with people in our videos and like, but then like when the She-Ra videos, it was just the defenders were being so, I don't know, just like over the top with their defenses. Over. And their number one thing that we got is you hate it because you can't jerk off to it. That was like the number one thing.
That's insane. Why we never once mentioned that at all.
No.
We never did that. She's like you said, for the main time, she's a magical person. She would be the ideal
transforms
form.
Into something.
Yeah.
And how do you have a conversation with someone who starts their sentence with, "Oh, you just want to jerk off to a little kid's cartoon"?
But no, their best defense is showing artists doing art that actually looks better, proving our point to begin with.
So, like a lot of times, I won't comment on stuff, even though I want to. I have typed out responses and deleted them 1,000 times because it's like, okay, breathe, let it go. Who cares? But you feel like because it's something I put out there, it's a work, it's my words. I want to defend it, but who am I defending it to? Some Tumblr idiot who's never going to believe me anyways?
Well, apparently we can get a Tumblr show on Crunchyroll, so why not?
And like you said, destroying families have been destroyed with internet politics.
Oh yeah.
I
mean, just look at the last election. That really divided a lot.
Literally, people. I won't speak to my family because they voted one way or another. You honestly do that? That is insane. That you would think that's even human of you.
I would never do that.
Yeah, we gotta be Americans first.
Yeah,
or even just human beings at first.
Be a decent human being first. Yeah. And people can disagree on things, and that's fine. But we got to the point to where people have grown up with this ideal that if someone disagrees with you, they're evil or they're so wrong that you can't even say, well, I like this guy. I may not agree with him, but he's a good person. That's gotten people hemmed up on Twitter.
Oh, yeah. And also, we live in a society now where if you don't agree with me, delete it.
Yep.
Delete. It doesn't matter. Person, I'll delete him from my life. And that's sad.
I delete you.
Exactly. Could you imagine someone did that in real life? Just went up to you and said, I delete you.
They can never see you again. Like you disappear from their reality. That would be kind of cool.
That's scary.
But every tool that you think could be this coolest thing ever, because as a kid, I couldn't imagine being able to talk to Chris Claremont. Like if I read an X-Men comic, oh, dude, I can type something to him and he could talk to me. As a kid, my head would explode at how cool that would be. Yeah. But you can literally do that now, and it's a freaking hellscape.
Yeah. We met the guy in real life.
Yeah, one time.
It was in Vegas. It was pretty cool.
but that's something that should be the coolest thing ever. Talking to fans and interacting.
No,
and
but it's the worst thing.
It's literally the worst thing ever. All because let people hem people up on Twitter for a joke or a slide comment, or there's no context. There's no nothing. I don't know. I've walked away from Facebook altogether. Yeah. Like I don't even use it ever. Like people have told me you should put your podcast on Facebook. Like I don't like Facebook. Yeah. I hate it so much. I think that's just because of the political cycle really kicked me off of Facebook forever. Like I can't be part of that.
It's just something.
And that's the thing on Twitter. Like I followed you guys. I followed like John Malin and all those guys that post cool stuff. I want to see cool art. I want to talk about cool stories, and I want to post funny jokes and stupid crap. I just want to have fun.
Yeah, and it's so sad that most of the time it ends up not being fun because there's just so much negativity going around with all these things that we like.
There was a funny interaction. It was with one of your viewers posting like a preview page, and then someone was like concerned trolling the preview page, and they had like no context. They don't know what the story's about, and they kept talking about, oh, you just want this naked woman doing this and that, and then we kept just screwing with her or him. I don't know. That was so funny, and then they ended up like blocking everybody.
Oh, I needed that. That was the best day ever.
Because like she would say something, and then we're just like meme after meme after meme after meme, and then you're just getting more and more pissed off. He's like, dude, calm down. It's so funny.
Just a preview page.
And then a note
trolling done right.
And then they'll block you, and then they'll talk about you like while you're blocked. So yeah. And then she she even went on and on and on about like, this is why I hate military people and everything. I'm like, oh, you're done. You're something else.
Yeah.
Like, what does that have to do with anything? That you don't understand the story and you got trolled. How does that have to do with?
You went to go concern troll and got trolled yourself.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, in that page, it shows her fighting back against her attacker. You think she would like that? Like, oh, look, this person tried to do something wrong and bad to your character. Oh, she's waiting her moment and she's fighting back. That's a good thing. This is not a bad thing.
No. Why isn't she being victimized enough?
Yeah, I know, right?
Exactly.
Isn't it like, it's so funny? You're showing a strong female character who's in probably one of the worst situations you can be in, and fighting her way out. Isn't that like what we all want?
Well, yeah. I mean, because I have to admit it. Any situation where you're naked and out somewhere is probably the most worst situation in your life. Because first of all, you're awkward because you don't want to walk around, and then sure enough, everything else around you is going crazy. Yeah, not very good.
The top 3 places you don't want to be naked: church, school, zombie apocalypse.
That's number 3. That's actually number 3. It's right on there. I see it. That's funny.
But it's so funny. Like I bring up, I honestly, truly do believe that of all the indie comics I've read, Brags is the best comic I've read, because where I've read like the superhero stuff is cool. I like Jack Ironsides is really cool too. I got to do a review on that. But something about it being real and down to earth and having a character in only 2 issues in a prologue. I want this character to grow. I want her to win. I'm cheering for her. I feel bad when she feels bad. That's what characters used to do.
Yeah. And you want to know more about their backstory. You want to know more like, okay, how does she get to this point in her life?
It's just cool. I love that. That's how I felt about X-Men comics growing up. And not until literally, honestly, until I picked up Brags, I'd never felt that way about a character again. And it's just cool.
It's like comic characters nowadays don't even struggle anymore. They just win.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
And that's another thing about like the Miss Marvels and those Captain Marvel characters, one-punching guys and flying up. Riri Williams, never, every fault she has, it's because it's someone else's fault, and it just made her better.
Yeah.
Let's give her an ongoing series and the writer will be a woman who's never written a comic.
Yeah, forget the hero's journey. It doesn't exist.
Oh yeah, it's as classic as the freaking Odyssey. Yeah. The hero's journey.
And I think we're also the only book that actually took a real woman, Liz Finnegan, who I'm a huge fan of, by the way, took a real woman and she used that as the model for a real human type character and gave them an actual real life struggle. A lot of things that go on in that book I've taken from either past experience or from my battle buddies experience or something to that effect. So I think we're really like the only book where we have a real character with a semi-real story, and the only difference is we got zombies in there.
Yeah. And for me, when I knew, like, when I really knew, like, wow, there's a lot of nuance here, and there's some personal stuff here. Is like that argument she had with their fiance in the car. That was so real. I had to stop reading it for a while because it made me feel.
That was actually an argument I had.
Yeah, it was so, because I've been around stuff like that, where relationships where people, you know exactly what to say to hurt someone, and you know exactly what you're doing, and you do it, you feel bad for doing it, but you still did it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so real. I literally, like, okay, I gotta walk away for a little bit, because it was literally like hurting. It hurt my feelings.
Yeah, it actually touched your heart in a way that it was like hurting.
Yeah, but you see her get hurt. He gets hurt. They're hurting each other. It's like, oh no. It's like, and then there's always that lull where you're thinking, oh, okay, they're coming to a point to where they're finding an understanding, and then someone says that one extra thing and breaks it, and it's all back to the beginning of, oh, it was terrible and wonderful and great all at the same time.
All too real. All too real.
That's like the best compliment I've gotten.
Oh yeah, it's honest, is 100% truth too, because I'm like, wow, I love superheroes, I love that stuff, but you don't get that in a superhero comic. No way. You don't get what you get in a comic. They even like self-validation all the time. No one was being validated there. That was a real situation that really probably, happened.
Yeah, I mean, you read that whole part with Honey Badger in that one comic, you just want to just scream. She's just so annoying and so self-unaware,
so unrealistic too.
Yeah,
unreal.
Have you seen any of those X-23 girl Wolverine comics?
I've read the first two and then I turned it off.
Did you see that? Well, Honey Badger, like tiny Wolverine is what she is.
The clone of the clone of the clone?
Yeah. She's always talking about food. She's always like, using kind of like that teeny bopper, stupid way of talking. And her powers are ridiculous. She can't feel any pain and heals instantly. So nothing can kill her. You could literally drop a bomb on her and she'll instantly heal.
See,
she's got a cheat code too.
He might heal, but he feels it.
And she's constantly like, again, so if you don't have to ever worry about your character, there's no trauma. Guess what? In Rags, if Virginia gets pinned down by 10 zombies, she's done.
Oh, yeah.
She's not going to be able to do some ninja move and some magical power. No. And that was another cool thing I liked, is she has a weapon, but you don't want to engage anybody. If I can come out of this without ever pulling the trigger, that's exactly the way I like it. Duck your head.
Pull the trigger in that situation is going to cause way too much attention.
Yeah. I like that. It kind of has that Metal Gear. Why engage these 10 guys when I can just wait, turn around, sneak by them?
It's not worth the fight.
Do we really have to kill everyone we meet? Really? No, we don't. We can keep moving.
I want to get the invisible camo.
Yeah,
I learned that from Resident Evil. You don't have to kill every zombie you see.
No,
not worth it.
Not until you get like the Magnum or the Samurai Edge. But it's funny you mentioned Metal Gear, because there's actually a scene in issue 2 where we actually do like the Metal Gear sneak.
Yeah.
In like 3 panels, and not many people caught that.
I also, another thing too I thought was really cool is a lot of the story gets told with no words. The comic book is a visual medium, and it should be able to tell its story without using too many word bubbles. That's another thing with Marvel Comics. The damn novel, sometimes when you open up the first page, it's talking and talking and dialogue and dialogue and dialogue. You don't need to do that. Let the art and let the story and the pacing tell the story.
Like our mode of operation on that was, it's a comic book, not an audio book.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't want to sit there and just listen to people talk and talk and talk. 90% of the story is actually told on Regina's face. So if you pay really close attention to her face, you'll see that she may be she was arguing with Lee in that when she finally made it to that super Walmart, and she wasn't really arguing to be mean. She was arguing because she's afraid to get kicked out of that store. That's the only safe place that she had for the time. And just like, I don't want to go back out there and run from these zombies again. I just want pets. But you can just see that in her face. It's like she's not really doing it to be mean. She's doing it so like, maybe if I make the alpha dog move here, they might back down and I might be able to save. And it didn't really work out, but
you know what? That's actually happened in. I realized because I was watching some type of a show, and it was a detective show, and this girl got captured by someone, and she actually did pull the alpha card, and it actually worked. Like the guy was like scared, and he's like, "You better let me go." And he's like, okay, and he just lets her go.
It's a gamble.
It's a gamble.
It's a gambit move, but if it works, it works.
Mhm.
But you're down to your last cards, because being in that building is infinitely safer than not being in the building.
Yes.
And like you said, on the look on her face, and when she finally goes to sleep and she gets in her tent, that the panel kind of zooms in a little bit on her face, it tells so much more than 50 Marvel comics with all that dialogue, just in those 3 panels. So much more.
Mm-hmm.
And then, also, like, when you were talking about, like, characters that you like in the hero's journey, I would even parallel to that boxing anime, that one we watched.
Megalobox?
Megalobox, yeah. Excellent. I love that character. He's kind of a jerk, but he's trying to become the best. And you like that.
Yeah, and also, like they were saying, too, you can see it all in the face.
Mm-hmm.
You see it all in the way they move, the way they act. Is really cool. And that's one thing, like you said, missing comic books. I really wish they would have more panels like that and more mainstream comic books.
And I think the coloring. First of all, I'm like, oh, it's black and white. That's so lame. But as I was reading, I'm like, well, this black and white really works, because when something's in color, it's important. And it draws your eye, and it helps your eye follow the panel around. You see, oh, that's in color. Oh, their shoes in color. Oh, the blood's red. And it helps your eye move through the panel without saying anything. It's another visual medium. At first I thought I was going to hate it. It's actually one of the coolest parts of the book.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, it's a lot of cool stuff there. Like it blows my mind that people aren't, seeing like all this like kind of cool nuance and everything that I used to love so much growing up.
I think it's because people are more used to having everything handed to them, which is why we have comics with those long expositions and all this show and not enough tell. What we're doing, and you'll see this as it progresses in issue 3, if you actually go back and look at everything, of what we've been trying to show in these first couple of issues is Regina's base strength and her talents and whatnot. So the prologue issue, we're showing you like, hey, she knows her way around a weapon, and she knows that if she gets surrounded, it's better to run instead of just having to stand up fight with these zombies. In issue 1, we kind of showed like, hey, she's a little bit stronger than your average female as she throws that propane tank into the windshield. I mean, that's a considerable amount of strength that you have to have in order to just lug that thing one-handed as easily as she did, and then also launch it into a car windshield and hard enough to break. And then issue 3, we're going to show you like, hey, she's got some fisticuff skills and some close combat skills that she can draw upon, but not necessarily to where she's bouncing in between 5 or 10 guys and beating up 5 or 10 guys and becoming victorious. That's not the type of character she is. She's not there to beat up just everybody. She's going to have a lot of losses.
Like in Atomic Blonde, did you ever see that?
Oh God,
she just like fights
that
50
stairwell
guys.
Scene. Oh, that stairwell scene.
It's so ridiculous. It's like someone watched Civil War and they like, let's make a crap version of that, and that's what they did. But that's again, I just love it. Love the pacing, the character, and slowly but surely you think, oh man, she's such a freaking bitch to everyone. But then you start to learn her more. You start to like, oh crap, okay, there's reasonings behind all this. There's context to everything. There's nuance, and you start realizing, okay, she may come off as abrasive, but it's almost that's my shield. If I can,
all of defense mechanism.
It's cool. I love it. It's such a cool build of a character, but I haven't seen it. I'm trying to think in my mind a character that's been built that way in such a short amount of time where I'm like, oh, I'm on board with this character.
I want to see more. I can't think of it.
Well, it's funny, like you were talking about close quarter combat. I was thinking see from Metal Gear Solid 3.
Yeah, there was such a focus on that.
Yeah, no, it was so funny. I thought that was funny.
Yeah, our intent with Regina was to show you her at her worst, just show you her at her worst, and then show you how she grows from all this and how she eventually becomes this zombie slaying beast in a onesie.
Yeah, and again, like the growth of the character. See, what we've talked about this before in other media, like in Star Trek Discovery, the Michael Burnham character is already awesome. She's waiting for everyone else to finally get with the program. She never had to grow. She was already at the top of her game. I love to see a character take those steps to become that amazing thing, not already be there, and it's everyone else. She's waiting for everyone else to finally get it.
Yeah,
and that's boring and stupid and not fun to watch.
No, it's not.
No, because you already know how it's going to turn out. Oh, you're going to be right. She's gonna win. The end. Here, you're not even sure if Regina's gonna make it out.
No.
Yeah.
There might be there's some close calls, and you're like, one false step, one trip, you slip on something, it's over. It's not like this. Oh, I can slide across his car, do a ninja flip, kick this guy in the head, and bounce off that street light. Yeah, none of that's happening.
Shoot my my automatic weapon, bounce off the wall, hit the zombie from behind. Like, yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Like when I was parallel with that, when Alan Moore was writing Watchmen, he goes, "I knew Rorschach had to die. He had to die in the moment as I was writing it because he had to die that hero's death that he thought he could be that noble. I'm going to do the right thing in the end, And I'm sacrificing myself for that thing,
Man, Rorschach was so cool.
Yeah,
because he was just a guy. He didn't have any powers. I can beat people up. That's my power. That's a cool power.
Well, we're going to do a new Watchmen with none of those characters in it. You're going to love it.
Yeah, have you seen that? They're going to do a Watchmen live action on HBO, a TV series.
Oh God, why? Yeah, I saw that. I rolled my eyes so far in the back of my head.
They haven't shown any footage or anything.
It takes place in modern times. What a stupid thing!
It's in modern times. It's a police precinct, but all the characters are also superheroes at night. It's like they're cops during the day, and then when do these people sleep or eat?
They're all Hollis Mason, the Night Owl. They're all also cops in there.
Yeah,
it's so stupid.
It's like, I don't know, guys. Why are we taking these old things, characters that were cool? And that's the thing about the Watchmen movie. For all that Zack Snyder is, he took an amazing story and made a good movie. He could take good stories and make bad movies. He has to start high, and then he brings it down a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's just, if any type of group I'm in, talking about comics, I'm like, and of course, age appropriateness and all that. But if they're into zombies, if they're into action and good characters, like, hey, read this comic, read Rex, check it out. It's $1.50 online. You're not losing anything. But don't buy a Snickers one day and just buy this comic. You'll get infinitely more enjoyment out of it.
And it's sad because you see these same companies do good in other mediums. Like, for example, like DC, I think the Injustice video game stories would make amazing movies.
That'd be a cool movie.
That'd be amazing.
Cool. That'd be great movies.
Justice League, do that.
They should, again, hey, DC movies. Do you think they should just scrap the whole damn thing and just keep Wonder Woman?
I do.
It's the only trailer I liked was Shazam, and that was it.
Because that was fun.
Yeah. And it wasn't for an actual it's real serious. I like it because it's fun and happy.
It doesn't fit the DC mold at all. No.
All that dark and
It'd be silly, right? It'd be just an awful thing to put that kid in that situation.
I tried to watch that movie. I couldn't after 5 minutes. I just tried. I couldn't do it. It's so stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And they're actually calling Wonder Woman 2 Wonder Woman 1984.
Oh, no. That's weird. Why do that?
I like the first one. I don't know if I'm going to see the second one. I don't know.
I still haven't watched the first one.
I saw the first one while I was waiting for my eye surgery in the little waiting room they had it on. That's only the other way I watched it. So it was already kind of halfway over.
Mm-hmm.
All I know is, okay, we get it. You like slow-mo. It's cool. Stop doing it. It's like in every fight
Michael
scene.
Bay.
Every fight scene, it slows down. It's a cool little shield block. It's like, okay, the horse done drank that well. It's gone. But Aquaman.
Oh, no.
What did you think of that trailer?
Awful. Terrible.
Yeah, Aquaman.
Pass.
Yeah, can I come aboard?
Yeah, the permission to come aboard. Why did you have to say stupid crap? Who's he talking
to?
to?
Meathead. He just doesn't fit Aquaman.
The king of Atlantis is like the bouncer at a strip club. He should be regal and royal and strong, and not just like this beefcake idiot.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what's her face is hot as hell. Mara?
Oh, yeah, the one that's the redhead.
Yeah, she's looking good in that. I want the cut of the movie that just has her.
Yeah, she's the hero.
She recut it to where she's the hero.
She's like saying, "Hey, Aquaman, let's do this." And you don't see it. It's the next thing. Where did Aquaman go?
Yeah, and also I have to admit too, the basic story too, how many bullies can we have picking on all these DC characters?
Yeah.
They're every single DC character has a bully that picks on them.
Yeah, Shazam had it. The Aquaman trailer had it.
Superman when he fights the new one, he had bullies that picked on him. It's just in every movie, it's has a bully that's get you.
Well, it gives them a reason why they're superheroes.
Even in Captain America, he had his bullies.
Yeah.
What the hell is with bullies?
I don't know. Maybe this is a realistic thing, because everyone maybe. Well, I don't know.
It's just fun though. Bullies, those bastards.
Mm.
But it's funny because we have the DC films, which are pretty bad to good, but mostly kind of on the bad side. Marvel movies, on the other hand, are really fun to watch, but Marvel comics suck. And DC comics have been kind of a little bit better. So why can't we just have all good? Why do we have to do this half and half?
That was weird.
It's just different departments.
Yeah.
So what do you think of? Did you check out any of that Batwoman or Catwoman and Batman getting married and it didn't happen? Like everything.
Okay, so I learned my lesson from Kitty Pryde and Colossus and actually called it like, yeah, they're not gonna get married. I bet they're not gonna get married. And then they didn't get married, and everybody's mad. It's like, have you guys not learned your lesson? In comics, they don't believe the audience is mature enough to handle superheroes being in positive relationships.
No.
Yeah, it always just be negative.
Yeah.
It's so funny because you bring it up, and I instantly thought of Ant-Man and Wasp. How they always bring up, oh, he was an abuser. He hit her one time, and that was like 40 years ago. And they keep bringing it up as if they're like the only aspect of the relationship was that one time.
And you know what? It's not even to defend him. I don't even think he really meant to do it on purpose from the way the panel was drawn. Let me actually look that one up.
Actually, like, read it in context. It's like, whoa, the way they describe it is he just started wailing on her. That didn't happen.
Yeah, and then later on in the comics, then they added more like verbal.
Then he was like verbally abusive. Like, you have to make any hetero relationship has to be odd and strange in some way. There has to be some type of folly to it.
Yeah.
No, wait, he did backhand the hell out of her.
Years ago, Archie didn't marry Betty like he was supposed to in the Archie comics. It was all a dream, so there you go.
Okay, so when Hank hit her, she was actually holding onto his arm, and he just went to throw her off from what the panel looks like, and she was just getting whacked in the face. But he,
so it wasn't a full-on
closed fist punch her in the face. That didn't happen.
No. Here, I'm actually gonna save this image.
There, yeah. Hank Pym. Fake news, okay?
It's awesome.
But that is literally the only thing they talk about.
But wasn't it one of the comics where she took the name of a stepmother or something? So ridiculous.
We have the new Wasp is terrible.
Yeah.
The girl Wasp, and she knows everything. She's smarter than Hank Pym, and it's terrible. There's a comic where they're together, and like there's some kind of quantum bull crap going on. He can't figure it out, but she can because she's so much smarter than he is.
Yeah.
Okay, so I wonder if you guys have noticed this thing too, where every new hero is the smartest hero ever. So if everyone's smart and everyone's a genius, then shouldn't they be able to figure out their problems without fighting?
Yeah.
Well, there's no academic thesis that can beat a punch in the face. It's just, it's weird, yeah, because Riri Williams, smarter than everyone.
Smarter than Tony Stark, better than him.
The Wasp girl, whatever. She's
and then parallel for Infinity War, remember the whole version with Banner and that girl from Wakanda? Siri, yeah.
She's smarter than everyone.
Yeah, it's like...
Yeah, like everyone's a super genius.
Yeah, she's smarter than everybody, but still can't figure out how to beat Thanos.
Yeah.
I give them credit. She didn't fix Vision. She didn't fix the gem, so she failed, which was kind of cool that they showed that she actually failed. But they didn't really harp on it at all.
Yeah, but they would have been like, well, they would have followed her plan from the beginning. It wouldn't even be a problem.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
So who wants to see her solo movie?
I do.
I actually do like her as a character, but I don't want to see solo movie right now.
It's a thing too, where like everyone is like a super genius. Even what's his face, the Hulk, the Amadeus Cho.
Yeah.
He's a super genius.
Yeah, too.
Well, to be fair, Amadeus Cho, when he was first introduced, was always a super genius.
Yeah, that's true.
But he just didn't have any superpowers. But now he's got superpowers. So.
Oh my! Don't even get me started in like all the geniuses on the CW shows. They have to always have that computer tech person who's super smart. Arrow, Flash. It's just ridiculous. Legend Tomorrow. It's insane.
They're all smart but socially awkward. Can't hold down a relationship.
No.
Especially,
Felicia. Yeah, I know, right?
If you're a man, you'll get into relationships, but they won't even last the season.
Yeah.
And they'll fall apart because you're just a bumbling idiot.
Yeah, I know.
I'm talking to a girl. I don't know how.
You may have Ray Marone, vibe. He's, he's heterosexual and he's a genius. But like when you have like an Arrow, they're like he's gay, of course. That always has to be a thing too. It's ridiculous.
I never knew the sexual orientations of the characters that I loved growing up.
Yeah, it didn't matter.
It didn't matter to me. I thought North Star was really cool. I didn't care that he was gay. It didn't mean anything to me.
No.
It was just
I actually didn't know he was gay until he got married.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until that plot line came up, I'm like, what the heck? Like, it never even dawned on me. But should it? Does it matter to the people I walk by on the street? I wonder their sexuality. No, it doesn't matter.
No one cares. I don't care.
Oh, I need to know.
Oh, but your Twitter bio profile better have it in there. Better have your pronouns in there.
So stupid.
There was a did you see that Gail Simone did a Plastic Man comic where the storyline
Oh
was
yeah,
this,
and then she did Plastic Man turns into Harley.
and he has a bulge.
Yes.
That's so ridiculous. And then Gail Simone has to go online and like apologize. It's so stupid. So you can't. She's like super crazy hardcore left, and even she has to apologize.
Oh wow.
And the whole storyline is he's saving a woke 8-year-old. Like she's like, they're like, oh come on, let's save you, little girl. I haven't chosen what I want to be yet. Yes, because that's what 8-year-olds talk like.
Oh, nice.
Oh my
That's a magical world.
That's interesting.
I mean, when I was 8, I didn't even know what kind of cereal I liked most, let alone, I'm wondering about my gender. It's like, it's so, and it wasn't even a good story.
No.
And that's another funny thing. I always found it weird that you have all these Marvel Comics characters, creators, and they're just all over the place. They're doing DC books, they're doing stuff for Boom, they're doing stuff for Oni Press, IDW, the back over at Marvel. It's like, what the hell is going on?
I know, right? And Arctic Press, it's like, jeez.
Yeah, everywhere.
Yeah, well, see, I've always been, like, even back in high school, I loved Antarctic Press because I love Gold Digger. And I always liked the style, you can't go wrong with anime cat girls. But I've always thought they were a cool thing because they also did a lot of cool World War II stuff, like when I was growing up. And then, there was that whole fallout with everything that happened with the Antarctic Press. And here's the thing. You can't blame everyone for something that happened that was terrible, bad, but we got to move on. And I still people to this day on Twitter always talking crap about Antarctic Press and all the new books coming out. I'm like, guys, come on, get over it.
Mm-hmm. But it's hard.
Yeah.
It's awful. I don't even like. Every time I step into I step into a conversation with someone like on Twitter. I'm like, hey guys, there's a lot of creators out there that had nothing to do with anything that went down. So you're going to punish all those creators for something one person did that happened to work at a company. I mean, come on.
I just want to point this out that the same people that hate Antarctic Press right now. Sorry, it's just the echo's killing me.
Yeah. My mic, I'm moving it around. It's a little too close.
Yeah, but the same people that hate on Antarctic Press will give Marvel and DC as many chances as humanly possible. You would think that by now people would just be done with Marvel, stop buying their books, but you still have people hate buying them and doing all these roast videos and whatnot. And it's like, you guys will still give this company your money, but when this other company that's really just it's a small business, they don't really make more than, I would say, like $4 million a year. I mean, they're really, really such a small publisher. But you would burn that publisher to the ground because they had to make a business decision between one new guy that they hired and all their current employees and freelancers. I mean, what would you choose?
Yeah, it was one of those situations where it's like, it was a business decision. And you know what? You got to take it just as that and then move on. There's other comics, there's other creators, there's other artists. There's so many other people involved in this situation that beyond what happened there, and you're going to punish them for all time and eternity. No, that's stupid. And I think that's it's reckless. Was I mad and irritated and pissed off? It lasted about 3 days. And then I got over it. And then I was able to bring my Gold Digger comics back out. Like I put them away. They had to go in timeout for a while, but they're back out again. And that's just, you just get over, you grow up. But we have little kid, I don't want to say
the other creators and the other freelancers for the company's decision. It's like going into McDonald's because McDonald's fired one person and then you set like the entire management team on fire.
Yeah, like it's unfair and it's a little ridiculous.
Yeah,
but I notice this in fandoms a lot. People get like these really attachments because we love characters, we love stories, we love creators, and then somehow we have to do anything that ever happened to them. Somehow it happened to us too. and it's like, there is a
Living
disconnect.
vicariously, you shouldn't do that.
There is a disconnect. Whatever happened with the Antarctic Press and Endeavor creator, it didn't happen to you, really.
No.
You know,
You're just you're a fan of it, but yeah, you're fine.
and then you move on, and people get fired and hired, and different creators come along, and then you support that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, we've only roasted one comic, and that was the Ninja Turtles comic because it was so bad, and it was connected to the TV show. But when it comes to comics, and at least our podcast, I just want to talk about stuff I like.
Yeah.
There was one out by was it IDW? I don't remember. It's called Teether, and it's like a monster book.
Oh, look.
Oh no, that's
Yeah,
another
yeah.
Antarctic Press book.
Is it an Antarctic Press book?
Yes, it is.
Oh
That
yeah,
book-
wow,
that,
I meant
yeah.
to
I was flipping through that. I'm like, dude, this stuff is grotesque, but it's awesome. And I want to talk about it, but I'm afraid that it's like I can't show any of these panels because it's too
Violent.
gruesome. It's gruesome, but it's cool though. Like, and I think that's gonna be my next review. And it's a cool book, and I want people because we grew up in the '80s horror movies. It's cool, and I want to. If this was a live action thing, I think it would be something. I think it would be awesome. It's a
Well,
scary
if you
monster.
could show panels from our book, I'm pretty sure you'd be okay with Teether.
yeah. People getting their face bitten off, and this.
Just go for it.
It's cool. I'm gonna have to heavily censor, but it's cool though.
Do it.
It's cool. I'm definitely gonna do a thing on that. I want to pick those up. You know, when next time I go to or
Yeah,
comic
we
shop.
should go in a couple weeks. I want to.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna pick up your book. I'm definitely gonna pick up Teether. It's just I don't know. I'm not saying I'm over Marvel, but I feel like I am. I'm over that. Everything gets rebooted to #1, and characters wearing other characters' costumes that aren't really them. It's just I'm sick of that.
The long cycle.
Yeah, I want real Thor. I want real Iron Man, but I'm not getting those. They're starting to kind of bring them back, but they always do something stupid and bring it back down.
Yeah, just when you think Marvel gets it, they always take a step backwards every time. Remember they had their little tagline, making money, making memories, or whatever. What happened to that?
Yeah, CB Cebulski came out and said, selling comics and making memories. Like, oh, cool, this is a good way to turn the ship around. And it's been a few months since then, and it kind of hasn't done it yet.
No.
Well, he
I'm telling
did
you, the
turn
making
ship
memories,
around
I
by
would-
like 5 degrees, but it's still going underwater.
Oh, yeah. They're still listing pretty bad. The water's still pouring into the bulkheads. It's getting bad, guys, and they started getting one pail bucket to dump it out. Well, that's not going to be enough.
It's like the famous Steve Ditko with Fire comic when he's underwater, started going underwater. It's like, help me.
They upgraded from the ladle.
Yeah. With the one with the holes in it. But like they said, making memories. I will never forget reading Rags. That's something that's gonna be one of my comic book memories from a whole. Like, it's gonna be right there with, when I first read Age of Apocalypse.
Age of Apocalypse is
Like,
probably
when
my favorite.
it's been in my memory my whole life, and I think it's just another one of those cool comics I can always bring out and look at and think, there you go, that's the way it's done.
Even though we have all the original run of that, it's like I saw it with this other comic shop we went to, and it was like in the bundle. I'm like, do I buy this? Like, I don't know if I didn't buy it again because I just love it so much. Age of Apocalypse.
I remember running to the comic book store after school to pick up those issues, and there was like 8 different series going on at once, and I had to have them all.
Mm-hmm.
It was so cool though. But
And the X-Men cards, even
Yeah.
though they're not any worth anything now, the Marvel cards.
that's the thing, media, culture, pop culture, stuff like that. It's cool, and then it is entertainment, but it is part of your lives, and it should be something that you enjoy, and it should be something that, oh, look how terrible this is. Let's talk about how terrible it is. Comics are dying. It's hard to keep it afloat, and let's just prop up the things that are cool. Support the cool creators, show great art, and if you share Rags, you're doing all those things. You are promoting something that should be promoted because it's good.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, so I think the industry right now is changing, and I think it's going to have to because they're never going to change. The main ones, they're just not. They're just going to go down with the sinking ship. And they're going to sink a lot of comic book stores with them, unfortunately, and it's not their fault.
Are we the horse and buggy guys, and cars are coming out?
Yeah,
We're just the
could
old
be.
guys that love comics, and we just have to live it up and say, hey,
Yeah.
this thing's going away.
Oh, no.
Yep,
I don't want
accept
it.
it.
The movies, it's going to just be movies.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of fans that love Spider-Man and all that stuff, but they just know him from the movies.
Exactly. I know a lot of
But-
people that are like that.
But the
yeah.
problem is, then you also have other movie companies buying up properties like Variant. No one wants to see any of these characters.
Dude, they want to make a live-action Faith movie.
Oh, no.
The extremely obese, overweight woman superhero into a movie.
No.
Ghostbusters failed. the Ocean's whatever the girl Ocean's 11 failed. All those like girl comedies that did all right.
Oh yeah,
the one Scarlett Johansson was the one in that pretty much bombed.
Yeah, and then there was the spy that dumped me or something like. Oh yeah, these are horrible movies.
And now we're gonna do it with a high budget superhero movie, guys. It's never gonna work.
No, you guys are just sexist.
you dummy! You don't want to see a 500-pound woman flying through the sky?
It's gonna.
Looks like the Michelin Man. No,
give me a Storm movie. I wouldn't mind that. I'd maybe go see a Storm movie.
Yeah, I just feel bad because with the plus size woman, she's gonna be doing things. It's gonna get downright comical.
Chris Farley.
Well, yeah, Chris Farley. And then can we sit there for an hour or 2 hours and laugh at someone that's female?
And one of her costumes, she's wearing all white. Why are you doing this to the character?
Note to other big people out there: white is not your color. I can guarantee you that. I know from personal experience.
Yeah.
Unless you're doing a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, then that's fine.
Oh God. I was gonna say the Faith movie would be a perfect role for Amy Schumer.
A lot of people were saying that, or they were saying, "What's your face from those Sing movies?" The bigger girl, British.
Oh, British, yeah.
I forgot her name. Blonde hair. They say she could do it too. Rebel Williams. Oh, Rebel something.
Rebel Wilson.
There she is. Yeah, and they're saying it too. Like, yeah, but just like how Chris Farley again. He would do like he did that ninja movie, and it's just a joke. It's a gag.
It's a gag.
But he knows it's a gag.
Yeah.
I don't think they know though. I think they're gonna go into doing a serious.
Yeah. Like, we gotta make this faith real serious.
Oh, that's awful. And she has like a super cucked boyfriend who's like an idiot loser, and it's like, oh,
yeah, like when you saw The Blob, it was funny.
Yeah,
it was funny in the first Wolverine movie. It wasn't it's serious. You didn't think of it as a thing. He's got a big gulp, but he's drinking it. It's like
Yeah,
it is what it is.
Man, it's just that's the same. People are optioning all these terrible movies. Let's get a New Line Cinema, Legendary Pictures. You could do a Rags movie for a tenth of the price you'd have to do for a Faith movie. That it's going to have all this crazy special effects and everything.
Exactly.
Get Tom Savini to do the zombies. Boom! You have an awesome movie.
Yeah.
It's. I don't know, but it's like that thing where if they keep force feeding you one type of entertainment, you'll eventually have.
But they're not going to though. It's never going to happen.
They're just. I could imagine if it wasn't for the indie scene, I don't know if comic books anyone would even read them.
No.
Because you have all these people who celebrate Riri Williams. Oh, she's such a great thing. Oh, did you read number 7 or other? Oh no, I don't read those dreadful things. They just like the idea of the pushing her color or LGBT character, but they never actually consume.
Oh, that new cover of hers is ridiculous. It's awful.
Oh, yeah,
it's not proportioned right.
Do you know she's named after the Japanese porn, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a Riri Williams #1 cover that's the perspective is ridiculous.
Oh yeah, I saw.
Yeah, her chest is like sticking out, and her arms are like real skinny, and it just looks weird. It just.
Oh, forgot to put #1.
Yeah, it's just.
And that's another thing they do a lot of times.
Colors too are.
They will take a #1 issue and say, "Oh, look how well it sold and everything." Yeah, but what about issues 2, 3, and 4? Literally 1/3 of the sales.
Yeah, because no one wants to read it after that.
Well, it reminds me when they used to like talk about anime sales. Well, the first DVD sold well. What about the other ones? Yeah, they don't talk about it.
There's this thing of a cover.
Yeah.
How does this get past? Editing and it's ridiculous.
It's like they don't even care.
Yeah, it's because I want to say like didn't Marvel used to have like a book of like rules?
There was learn to draw the Marvel way.
Yeah, there was like that book they would give you, and you could be like, "Hey,
look at that.
Do this, don't do this."
Let's see. I want to screen share this.
So yeah,
I mean the perspective.
Yeah, this is ridiculous.
Look at that. It's just drawn wrong. It's just bizarre.
Why not a more dynamic pose? Why not her, using her unibeam or using her repulsor rays or something? No, she's like doing this weird belly flop into a pool that. Yeah. I can't believe this. Go away, sound. But yeah, it's just that's supposed to catch you. That's supposed to start at #1. No.
And why can't she be like flying, standing up, and shooting a beam at someone? Might have been better. I got this weird bluish pink out, suit. I'm flying like this with my chest sticking out for some reason.
It looks like she literally fell out of a plane.
Yeah.
Like she's a skydiver.
It looks
And
like
then when you
Bill's
compare
looking
that
for
to
us
like
off.
our
He
cover,
the YK out, he gets the flying thing, and he's flying with his chest out. That's what it looks like. Why does she look so goofy?
But that's the state of that. That is a Marvel cover in 2018.
Yeah. 10
which
years
is
ago, they
sad
laughed at that.
when you look at our cover. Hold on, let me show you this one. This is the nude version. Let's DM it to you. But see, that's the cover for our issue 3, and you just look at the angle in itself. You can already tell that she's getting pulled away from her weapon.
Yeah, it's you can see the scene, you see the look in her face. It's dynamic. It's a low angle going up. There's so much, just like I don't want to say like I don't know, comic book 101 stuff that everyone should know. And you look at Riri Williams, it looks like a goofy little kid comic that some 16-year-old drew.
Yeah, this is like real drama going
She looks,
on.
yeah, you can tell. Look at her face. She's distressed. She's like, "Oh my goodness, I'm gonna be."
And
Yeah.
you instantly know who the villain is.
Yeah.
You know who the good guy is.
Yeah.
You know this guy's the bad dude, and you could tell the setting. They're in a looks like like a bathroom, like a gym shower. It's a bad situation, and you want to open the book to see what happens.
Yeah.
I want to open that Riri Williams book to see if she belly flops into that lake or whatever that she's flying over. They don't do it right anymore. They just don't.
Yeah, they don't have any standards.
I know there's some other guys talking about there are good Marvel books, there are good Marvel stories, but there's such a diamond. They're just hidden away, and it's just like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what was it really again. Everyone says the Gambit and Rogue comic is pretty good, but a pretty good isn't good enough for me anymore. I want amazing. Gambit is such a cool character. He deserves amazing storylines,
Yeah, it's stupid.
not just mediocre storylines.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sad.
It's like again we talk about the comic book movies. Yeah, Batman vs Superman, it's mediocre to bad. Batman and Superman should be absolutely phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
The gap between where it should be and where it is the Grand Canyon.
Just watch the Dark Knight cartoon movie. Excellent. Way better than what you got.
They did that storyline way better.
Yeah.
And Superman can be happy. Do they know Superman can smile?
No.
I don't know.
Have you read any of the Bendis books on
No.
Superman? I
No,
flipped
it's
through a
a waste
couple.
of time.
It's ridiculous. It's like, and they made a big deal about Brian Michael Bendis going to DC to write Superman. And it's like a joke. It's not even
Good.
yeah. That's a DC starting to drop the ball a little bit. They had some pretty cool storylines. I liked they did New Heroes. Some guy named Sideways, Silencer. Those are pretty cool. John Romita Jr. is doing the art on them.
Mhm.
He got a little lazy. He did a little bit. But the later issues, they look really good, and it's an interesting story. And it's not about Superman or Wonder Woman or anything like that. It's just like a regular kind of assassin type. But again, the little bits.
Yeah.
One comic out of the 30 that got released.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Marvel.
Yeah, every once in a while we'll get one where like when Xavier's finding the Shadow King, which that was a cool one, but you don't get many of those anymore.
They're bringing back the X-Men, like in some new event. Again, the event books.
Yeah.
Why do we keep doing these things? They went from Civil War 2 to like this Infinity Stone thing, straight to this new X-Men thing. Like literally, they gave you no breath.
It's like 3-4 months apart. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous. Shouldn't these be like years apart? No.
Yeah, big story arcs.
No, we're gonna keep doing it until something sticks. Dang it, we're gonna keep doing it. Oh god.
Because they did a thing, I know, spoiler, but Gamora killed Thanos in this newest comic. But you don't know, but they're doing like a weird thing with time travel and stuff, so maybe he didn't die.
He didn't die.
But she straight up like has his head and like tossed it on the ground. I'm like, oh damn.
Wow.
But she's starting to like become like a tyrant or something. I'm like, that's kind of interesting. Like she wants to control the stones, but it's like I'm so over it. I don't want to get involved in this giant arc of a storyline that
And what if they get reset it in a month or two?
yeah, there's no stakes, but I know they might just swap it.
Well, and didn't they say they weren't going to do any more events?
And they lied.
Of course, but
Yeah.
Remember when I said I was gonna kill you last? I lied. That's pretty much.
That's pretty much Marvel. Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
That was such a funny one.
The one-liners, those are the best.
Arnold Schwarzenegger one-liners.
Oh, speaking of that, did you Predator? The new Predator, I don't know. I watched a couple trailers and a couple spots on it. Looks like a Netflix movie, not a big budget.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah. I I wouldn't.
I'll give props to New Chlorophyll. At least they realized it wasn't good enough for the theaters. I'll give you that.
Yeah,
but my goodness, just and then Olivia Munn, I just don't like her. I just don't.
Yeah, I've never been a fan of hers. Let's see this right here. Oh, yeah. That's cool.
She was okay as Psylocke, but
just okay.
Yeah.
But again, a lot of people hated that Apocalypse movie.
I like that movie.
A lot of people didn't understand who Apocalypse was, so they didn't get why he was the way he was. He literally feels like he's like the Messiah or whatever. So he wants all his children to come back to him, but none of that's really portrayed all that well in the movie.
Yeah, I think if they would have done a better job like they did with Thanos in the Avengers movie, it would have been way better.
Did you get to actually know him in a weird way?
In a weird way, yeah.
Look at that. Actress Zendaya is going to play Ariel in a Little Mermaid movie.
Why is it that Hollywood wants to get rid of all the redheads?
Yeah, I know, right? Well, she had pink hair in The Greatest Showman. That's almost red, right?
Yeah.
Right, yeah, she replaced Mary Jane, too.
Yeah?
Yeah, no redheads.
Oh, yeah, wow.
Oh, God, I don't want a Rags movie made now.
Yeah, it's going to be some...
I have to make her brunette.
That'll be me, but it's me, Rose.
Yeah, we did it. You should pitch it.
Oh, no.
I forgot. I think she's using her real name now.
Oh, jeez, whatever.
But yeah, I'm trying to see. I think we kind of covered everything.
Yeah.
Is there anything else off the top of your guys' heads?
No, I mean, we just got done with Gamescom. I mean, that happened.
Oh yeah,
no real big news coming out of there.
DayZ looked kind of cool. There was like some other game, but really, again, same thing with video games. The only cool games I really wanted was Cyberpunk and Battlefield 5, but it looks like I don't know what they're doing with their.
Yeah, we didn't see nothing on those.
I like the footage they had for the Resident Evil.
Oh yeah, Resident Evil 2, the remake.
Yeah, the remake.
That looked pretty cool.
They showed more of Claire, and it was. I like it. I like how scary it is. I like how it's like I don't know. The only thing I wish is that it had the classic music from Resident Evil 2, because that music is just puts you in that mood of like ooh scary. Like
Resident Evil 2. I would like to see a Rags video game done like Resident Evil, where combat is secondary and it's more about surviving situation.
Oh, that'd be
well, that would be awesome.
I want to do a skin mod with Claire and just have it look like Regina.
That'd be so cool.
I was actually trying to get a Left 4 Dead 2 mod made.
Oh, cool.
That'll work.
There was one called Earthfall. That's like another kind of team zombie killing game that came out, and that looked pretty good.
Yeah, that looked alright. I liked, let's see what else. That was about it. They didn't really talk about anything much, more like collectors going on the free Game Pass. Yeah, they said they had rumors that they were going to do some kind of thing down the line with Xbox, but this was just rumors. Like, you can lease it, but we don't know if that's going to happen or not.
Let's see. One last check of this the comic book sites, all the ridiculousness.
Well, while I got you guys here, I'm going to shout out some of my homeboys. Have you guys had the chance to read Wanpole?
No.
Oh, you should totally check out Wanpole.
I've seen the pictures, and I've seen like on Twitter when he shares them and stuff. It looks ridiculously funny. Like,
it is
just like
funny. He's making fun of everything on the Marvel side. Troy's my boy. And fun fact, Wanpole and Rags occupy the same universe.
That's funny.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so
I love like connected universes.
It's funny because like again like it's like the whole stupid multiplying Deadpool. Like, oh, there's a Gwen Deadpool and there's this and there's this. Like, it's ridiculous. Let's take that ridiculous idea and show them how stupid it is.
Yeah, how silly it can get.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to find. I remember seeing it on Twitter and stuff. I finally have a backlog of comics to go through again. That hasn't happened to me in years.
That's nice.
That's good.
It's a good feeling. It's like, oh wow, I got things to read and things to look into. It's like, whoa, it's a wonderful feeling because it literally has not happened to me in a long time.
Yeah, now that is cool. That is a cool feeling.
Yeah, I could recommend a couple from my friends I know that are good, just to show them out because I know these guys are working hard on their projects and need signal boosts. Have you tried Red Ninja Momiji?
That's another one that I have backlogged. That one looks pretty cool too.
That one's a fun read. And Column's like the anime style chibi.
Yeah, I that was another one that's like, oh man, there's so much comic book backlog type stuff. But that stuff looks good though. And the thing is, what I can tell that I don't get from Marvel or even DC is people caring about their characters, caring about their story. And the only way to find it is from these indie guys.
But it's so funny, those people that are doing Marvel couldn't do a normal indie thing because they don't care about anything.
No.
So they couldn't make something that people would want to read. They have to take established characters and try to ruin them. That's just so funny about that. Because they wouldn't work in the indie scene. They wouldn't survive. Because the ones they have done it, it's like that one roller derby one. It's just silly. It was just silly.
Oh yeah, those I think Oni Press does a bunch of these weird lesbian type stories.
Oh yeah, just silly.
Whoa, Slam the Next Jam.
Yeah, Slam the Next Jam.
And it's about a bunch of roller derby girls. No, it's terrible.
Well, it's so funny. It's like the opposite because anime is like, I don't know what anime I want to watch because all of it's bad. I have to kind of look and find anything that's decent now.
And that's the funny thing about the anime world and what's happening with things like Soul Calibur and what's happening with Dead or Alive. Oh, we got to take the sexiness out of the Dead or Alive.
Well, yeah, the Dead or Alive they did, but I had something. They made Ivy still Ivy.
I just want a good game.
Yeah.
Because Dead or Alive 5 sucked.
Oh, it was awful.
Oh, yeah.
It was a broken game.
And so now like Kasune's like wearing like a spy suit. It's like, what happened to her little,
What's funny, as soon as Igaki was out of the picture, the Nejigated and friggin' Dead or Alive fell apart. They just did. I'm sorry. I mean, what he did or didn't do, with the company and that whole thing, sexual harassment was bad, but they just falling apart with him not being there in Team Ninja.
Well, that's the whole bending the knee.
Yeah.
These people aren't going to play video games.
No.
The guy who reads the New Yorker is not going to play a video game.
He's not going to play Dead or
Especially a fighter.
No, that's a very niche thing.
I remember I saw like Jack Irons looks really good. That's probably
Cody's work, Jack Irons, Still Cowboy.
Yeah, that one. I like the aesthetic of it's really cool.
I think his Indiegogo just got done, so they're finishing up his second issue.
And then there's like I kind of want to get away like the superhero stuff. I know they have like Sporkman and all that stuff like that. It looks pretty good, but I'm interested in the genres that I normally wouldn't touch. Like space cowboy adventure type, western. You know what? I'm gonna give it a shot because Marvel's let me down so much. I need to start looking in other places, and I'm finding good stuff.
I really want to check out that horror one.
Yeah, the Teether is really cool.
Oh man, from the pictures that Chris showed me,
that's cool though.
Yeah.
Well, and generally scary too. Like I actually was feeling bad for these kids. I'm like, oh goodness, this thing's gonna get them.
Yeah. Oh man, if I was in that one moment with that kid, and it's like, well, we gotta let her in. No, because if you let her in, I'm jumping out the window.
Yeah, I'm going. Okay, this is like a story. I'm gonna take my chances.
Still take my chances.
Yeah, see, that's Jack Irons. That's
that was so cool.
Motorcycles, robotic horses, cowboys.
I mean,
cool.
You got 2 sons in the background. You can't beat that.
He reminds me of Marshall Bravestar.
Oh yeah,
that's cool.
I love it. I love the use of the colors and everything. But the opposite of Rags, where the lack of color tells the storyline. Here in the use of the purples and reds, and it's cool. It feels like a Western.
Yeah, and that's what I love about it, because when you live out in the West, you see a lot of beautiful colors at sunrise and sunset. Like there's a lot of color there, and I'm glad that he's showing that and representing, even though it's a different planet, different world, but it has that feel.
And this is where Twitter's cool, because I get to see these other projects and I get to see people sharing, oh, this is page 5, I finished the inks and things like that. It's cool, but it's just so easy to get caught up in all this drama and being pulled into drama.
Oh yeah.
That you had nothing to do with, and all of a sudden now you're defending something you didn't even know what's going on, or you're being used as a shield.
Yep,
like, I hate that. I hate that.
Or a proxy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this one guy I know.
I just have to say this. One of my pet peeves has always been people talking about my skin color and not the quality of my work. And I've always used to be in like a lot of writing groups, and people used to say like, "Oh, for a black kid, you write pretty good." And that just always just grinds my nerves. So I always want to be known as Brian Ball the writer and not Brian Ball the black writer, because I think that really takes away from whatever little talent I do have, and especially when it comes to our book, I don't want to play like the diversity card, but the team behind Rags, we're all come from different backgrounds. Our colorist is French, Liz is from Philadelphia, a female, Luigi's from the Philippines, I'm from California, Trent's from Fargo, North Dakota, and we all have like different backgrounds and different experiences growing up, but we're a diverse group, you could say, but we don't want to promote that. We want our book to stand out just on the merit and the quality of the art and the quality of the writing. And I really hate when people want to point out like, oh yeah, but the people behind this book, they're black and yada yada yada.
That's so stupid.
Yeah, or like you have like a banner saying, "Look, my diverse group," and by the way, Rags is like a little tiny little.
But that just like when said, you'll see a whole Twitter's like that. They'll say their race and their like sexually and their preferences and
like
bizarre.
Going back to when we started with that Spice Garden anime cartoon, they took time to let you know how much women, how diverse they were. Instead of telling us about the story and the characters,
we know nothing of the story.
They told you something that's completely meaningless to the story.
Yeah.
And that just shows me weakness. Yeah. You're a weak person if that's the only thing you want to put out there.
Yeah, or you don't feel like your story's strong enough, so you have to like do other selling points of like, oh yeah, we're all this.
Well, if you purchase this thing, you're going to be helping out this one person. It's like, well, it needs to be good too. Mm-hmm. Again, it's not a charity thing. We want.
Oh, it's worse when they do Kickstarters. Oh, you have to feed me. What do you mean? After you would buy your food? What is that?
Buy me an e-sandwich.
Yeah. So stupid.
And that's the thing. There's a ton of money floating around out there going to all these indie projects. Yeah. People getting funded. People getting way more than they're asking for. Because it shows you there is a market for good things.
Yep.
But I don't know. I guess people spending millions of dollars on things just isn't good enough. I don't want your money. Well, like, what a dumb thing to say.
That's the whole point, right? You're selling a product, right?
I've literally seen creators say things like that. To that effect of, you don't care what you have to say. I never made my book for someone like you to buy. I want everyone to know a story I'd like to tell.
Yeah.
You don't know who's buying it or not, as long as they enjoy it.
Even if someone disagrees with me, I'd rather have them read it and be like, well, that's something we connect on, something that we can.
There's a thing that I don't like that these initiatives are trying to do, which I don't appreciate in general, is that they want you to know who's the person who's bringing in your food. They want to know the person who's delivering the food. They want to know what political affiliation. Why does that matter? We're not supposed to care about that.
As long as my pizza gets to my door.
Yeah, I don't care. Yeah. Why is that an issue?
Wait a second. Who was the guy who put the pepperonis on this? I gotta know. Because if it's someone I don't like, I can't eat it.
Yes, and also another thing too, bad guys, they can be minorities too in comics. That's okay. You can make a minority a bad guy again. That's fine.
There was a kerfuffle back in Batgirl when that first launched. There was a transgendered bad guy.
Yeah.
And everyone went nuts. Or should I say all transgendered people are bad guys? No, this bad guy happened to be transgendered.
Yeah.
But you would have thought.
Oh yeah. Ridiculous.
Oh, people are going to be really upset when they get to mine. Oh, when we get further away.
Stop the presses.
Yeah, I mean, you already see like the guy on the cover of issue 3 is obviously a hipster.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And you know what? It's so funny because if just in real life, all these guys that are like these male feminists, these SJWs, who ends up being caught raping people, caught molesting.
Also being the biggest male chauvinist pigs.
Yeah, it's those guys.
Yeah. Because I did this, so now I'm allowed to do this now because I'm
I voted for Hillary, so that means I can do these things to you.
Yeah. That's one of those things when the chips are on the ground, you see the best and worst of humanity.
Yeah. And someone like that is just, ugh.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of had a feel of Dead Rising. Like there's like those characters, you end up running into, they're like the boss characters.
Yeah.
And I kind of like that because in part 4 they got rid of those cinematic scenes. I like those because they were just weird. I like them.
Yeah, and I always hope for people that would be the best of humanity, not showing.
We see the best and worst.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. It's kind of sucky when you run into someone that's showing their worst, and it shows who they really are. Ugh.
Taking advantage of vulnerable people. Or who they think is vulnerable.
There you go.
That's gonna be that guy's mistake.
Oh yeah. The payoff for that. The payoff for issue 3 is gonna be so good. So good.
And that's the thing. I know. Like I had an argument with people, saying like, "Oh, people just wait to buy the graphic novel or whatever." I'm like, when I got done with Rag's prologue, I'm like, "Where's number 1?" And when I was done with number 1, I'm like, "Where's number 2?" I didn't want to be like, "Oh, I can wait 6 months." No way. I want to know the story now. When you honestly care for the characters in the story, you want it instantly. I don't want to wait. Well, I'll wait for that compilation that comes out 2 years from now.
No.
What are you, dumb?
No. If you're willing to wait that long, you don't like that story.
Yeah, it didn't connect with you.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
like
I will say we are
buying...
working on it right now.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna probably end up buying. I bought the digital censored version, and I'll probably buy the floppy from the comic book stores. I'll buy the same thing 3 times, but it's that good.
Yeah.
It really is. I no qualms about it.
If you want, I'll put you on my distro and shoot you out a review copy when we get them all put together.
Oh, cool!
Nice.
I'll still buy a copy too. I'll do both because
That's
it's
cool.
that important that good stories and good characters and good creators be brought up. It's always fun to do the roast video. It is fun to tear someone down, but I think it's more important, especially in this community of comic books, to build people up, especially when they really, really do a good job.
Exactly.
It's not just build someone up because some stupid reason that isn't anything to do with the story. That it stands on its own.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, exactly. And all of us, we need to all kind of try to stick together, and not trying to tear each other down, like you said. We got to be real careful of that.
Yeah, the infighting.
Just to do it. Yeah.
That's the thing that people want to put labels on things. You know what? I like good comics. I talk about good comics, and if that so happens to fall into a group of people, whatever, I don't care. I just want to talk about what I like.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah, it's a little ridiculous when people will only, if it doesn't have a certain hashtag or a certain thing or a certain group isn't affiliated, I can't deal with that. What are you, stupid? just grow up and take a chance. And this is just entertainment. I mean, at the end of the day,
that attitude is what's got us here in the first place anyway.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I notice with a lot of people, when they say they want things different, they don't want it different in a way that it's better. They just want it the same, but they're the ones oppressing. They're the ones dictating what's good and what's bad. Instead of it being just like that open market of ideas.
Believe me, I'm very free to that because, case in point, I don't agree with a lot with what McFarlane does. And when it comes to Family Guy, but Orville's phenomenal. It's phenomenal, and I'm going to give him credit.
I like his sci-fi writing, not necessarily like much of his other stuff, and he's kind of a dill hole on Twitter sometimes. But for the most part, in his show, he doesn't let it bleed into sci-fi stuff.
Yeah, that's what I like about it.
And it's still good. So
yeah,
some people give me crap for that. What if McFarlane did this and that? You know what? I don't follow him on Twitter. I don't care about his personal life. I like the show he puts out. And
yeah, if you do good stuff, I don't care what your politics are. I don't. But you when you bleeds in and when it's everything, like you were talking about earlier.
Yeah, like when you talk about your new book, like the whole new Willie Williams book, everything's about the author. Oh, she grew up in Chicago, just like Willie Williams. Oh, and it's like, what's that to do with anything?
Yeah, nothing with the actual story.
I'm pretty sure, when they invented Spider-Man, when it's Steve Ditko and all that, they really weren't swinging around New York City. That's not important.
We're news photographers.
Yeah, they weren't picture guys for a newspaper.
Yeah, that's funny.
But yeah, it's just there is room for good comics. I agree with that. We can make it happen.
Yeah.
And when you buy good comics, share them with people. That's another thing that was cool about comic books growing up is I'd always swap comics with my buddies at school and stuff. In the digital age is a little more different, but I like the idea of showing off good stuff.
Well, I like what they do, like in Japan with the Sojin comics, is they make them super cheap, like Sojin Jump. That way you can just throw them away or just leave them on a park bench and then someone else will go pick it up.
It's a very different approach to comic books.
Yeah.
That's also why I priced our digital books like at 99 cents, where, if you didn't like it, you didn't really lose out much. But if you liked it, you just got a great deal. And for us, we're just 3 drunk guys bumbling our way through this, making art that's should be nowhere near Marvel level of art, but I have to say we're in a good competition.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there is some ridiculous Marvel art out there where I'm like, this is from the big boys. If you would have submitted that panel to Marvel in 1987, they would have just laughed at you.
Yeah.
Now this is the cover. This is the premier characters. This is Thor and Spider-Man. Did you ever see that soy face Spider-Man? Remember the one I showed you?
Oh my goodness!
Oh god, yeah, that was a meme for a long time.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. Like, what is this? Some kind of a weird pastel watercolor thing? And he's like, Spider-Man, the goofball moron. Like he's supposed to be.
Spider-Man's telling like he's in a children's book right now, and his expression's all what is this? Wide open mouth and everything.
But yeah, it's just. And that's the one thing I'm saying when we talk about the visual medium. For me, if the art isn't good, and there's a qualifier there. I know there's like people will create something that's surreal, so it looks a little odd, a little weird, but it fits the tone of the book.
Yeah.
When you look at that cover of Rags, like, bam, that looks awesome.
Yeah.
Like you cannot say, oh, that looks terrible. Oh, that eye looks funny, and what's up with their leg? No, it looks good.
Yeah, the perfect example of that in a live action version is Legion. Yeah, it's surreal, but it makes sense because of the powers.
Yeah, if you walked by and saw that final scene, you'd be like, what the hell is this? But the aesthetic fits the story.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it doesn't initially have to be the highest end art, but when I see things like that Spice Garden thing where it's just like 12-year-old DeviantArt person found a how to draw manga book at the library. It's exactly what it looks like.
And you know, when you're showing that Marvel Rising version with Squirrel Girl upside down making the quote unquote manga face, that face looked exactly like that Spice character was making.
Yep, it's the same goofy, wide-eyed mouth.
The cheap.
Yeah, it's so funny because there's so many amazing animes out there, and you're gonna go to, oh, we're gonna be this literally the crappiest, stupidest version of that. Let's fight them anime style. What do you mean, killer? Yeah, you go.
What do you mean, Berserk?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Chopper and F, we can do that.
Sasuke.
And it's like they want to say, "You go, girl," and like this. I mean, that's what they want. That's the reaction they want. No, it's the complete opposite of what you think we're doing.
Yeah.
You did it, girl. Oh, jeez.
That was another scene in that Marvel Rising. There was like an emotional validation scene, but she was talking about her friend dying. Okay, I can give you a little bit of that, but all the other stuff, like, oh, we just captured her, yay me, and you all like high five.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah. So,
Another thing I don't like in comics, you're seeing all of them are being drawn harmlessly. The most harmless looking faces, the most innocent looking. It's like,
they totally cucked Luke Cage.
Yeah.
And every time Luke Cage shows up in a comic, he always has to mention that he's a dad.
Why?
I got a little girl I have to take care of, and he's like walking her in the walker. Freaking Luke Cage, do something cool. Why is Jessica Jones doing all the cool stuff while you're, going to Lamal's class? Like, what is this?
Fight some bad guys too.
Oh my goodness. It's because they're afraid to, I don't know. Because Blade came back for a couple issues in a couple of comics, and he was a moron.
I know, it's how it is.
Blade was cool.
Oh, Blade is awesome.
They came out like 20-some years ago.
Oh, that first.
That's the real first Marvel movie. People don't know that.
Yeah, it is. Amazing.
Everyone says
No,
Spider-Man.
it was Black Panther. The first Marvel movie. I just said the first black superhero movie.
I remember having so many arguments with people. I'm like, you idiots blind? Go back in time. There were so many great people of color or minorities, however you want to say it, amazing characters. They were cool and awesome and great. It didn't start with Black Panther. And Black Panther was a good movie, but it wasn't like, oh, this is like the greatest thing they ever made. It was
all right.
I liked it. It was fun.
Hey guys, here's the thing, and then it's just all that says. Like I said, it always happened today. It's like, no, guys, like you said, there's all these other great ones.
Everything happens now.
Yeah.
Every woman character this is the first woman character, even though obviously it's not. And you had back in the day, Storm was leading the X-Men, a black woman from Africa. So what in the 80s? So what the hell are they talking about?
Aliens. The first Alien movie. I mean, you can keep going further back. It's ridiculous.
But it didn't happen. It all happened with Carl Manvers. She's the first one to be the first woman to do anything.
So dumb. She's not that strong of a character, but that's a whole other issue.
I don't know about Avengers 4. I really don't know with this whole Captain Marvel thing. I don't know.
We'll see.
Sketchy.
Is she gonna one punch Thanos?
They established they made Adam Warlock. Just have him do it, because he can.
It's funny because you had the Hulk fight Thanos and Hulk got his butt kicked, and then you're gonna have Captain Marvel's probably gonna come in and kind of like beat him up, and it's gonna be like, are you kidding me?
But why can't he just affect her with the thin guy? There's gotta be something she's protected from it. It has to be some kind of like
reasoning.
Yeah.
But they're not gonna take the time.
No, of course not.
No.
And I've asked this people like 1,000 times and no one can give me a straight answer. If Nick Fury had the magic pager to bring back Captain Marvel during the first Avengers film when they're destroying New York City, he didn't think it was necessary?
Yeah, right? No.
Well, this giant dragon worm thing destroying New York City. I don't need Captain Marvel. She's lame.
We
got Captain America. We're good.
Her pager wasn't in service. I've seen people do like funny memes of that. Instead of the Captain Marvel symbol, it's like the Score Girl symbol. That's who he was calling. We need her. She's the one that saved us.
I saw one that was Pulp Fiction. It's stuff from Pulp Fiction, 2 characters.
It's the Jerry girl.
It's so funny. It's all playing the theme song. He's all around, walking around, so stupid.
But Marvel's about to shoot themselves in the foot. They built a good thing. It's kind of funny. It's like what they did with the comics for 40, 50 years. Built all these great characters, and now they're going to go to this SJW craziness. They built all these movies over 10, 11 years. They're going to go
But does it start with that Captain Marvel movie? I'm worried. I'm worried about that movie.
See, Captain Marvel might bomb. It just might.
Yeah.
Solo. Dude,
Yeah.
if I told you 10 years ago there's gonna be new Star Wars films and they're gonna suck and bomb, you're gonna get out of your damn mind.
It's gonna make millions. Well, it didn't make millions,
But nothing compared to what it should have
should've
made.
made.
It's just it's like it's never been a better time and it's never been a worse time.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool because if you're a new fan, you have all those old comics to go through, like reading for the first time.
Oh yeah.
It's like I get jealous of like new anime fans. There's so many cool animes from the 90s and 80s that you watch. It's like I'm jealous.
Yeah, you see something for the first time, like
Yeah.
watch Cowboy Bebop for the first time.
Cowboy Bebop, Outlaw Star, Guns
Slayers.
Cats, you know.
Yeah.
Great
Gundam.
stuff.
Gundam.
Yeah.
Imagine watching Gundam for the first time again. How cool that would be.
So cool.
MS-17, Gundam Wing. Oh, that'd be cool. Mobile Suit.
That's funny. Legendary Pictures is making a Gundam movie. So they're
I
making a
know.
live action
Made a
Gundam
Gundam
movie
movie.
and a Lady Who Screws a Bear movie. What is wrong with this company?
Maybe they'll be tied in.
Yeah, they're gonna
Come on
crossover.
and mess with COD Gundam style.
There's so much. I would like. It's kind of funny because it's like we're woker than you. Oh, we're making this graphic novel that's ridiculous. No, I'm going to make this graphic novel that's more ridiculous. To win what? To win this invisible prize of SJW that no one cares.
Yeah,
Be
number
number
one.
one.
It's an anti-money prize. You know when you win a prize, you win a trophy in $10,000. You win a trophy in minus $4 million.
Everyone hates you.
Yeah, it's the anti-race. Why would you compete?
It's like
Just
that
don't
episode
understand
of
why
Simpsons
somebody
where
would
someone
put
Jeopardy
in-
and she loses at the end. She has to pay back the money she lost. And there's already judges, and there's these two big guys with like gloves. Okay, the judges are actually brawlers. That's funny.
This race to the bottom.
Yeah.
It's funny because it's kind of weird when it kind of goes in cycles. Marvel's getting a little bit better, and then DC's getting way, way worse. It's like if they say, "Okay, we took our hits, we took our licks, now it's your turn."
So then it'll be IDW. Actually, they've really fallen off from that. But...
Yeah, the dude got fired. The head of it or whatever. I guess he has some sexual harassment thing going on.
Oh, jeez. Well, there you go.
Now, what do you think of IDW making Marvel comics?
Oh, that's weird.
Marvel's
That's the end of an era.
outsourcing Spider-Man to IDW because they don't think they can make a Spider-Man relatable to young people. It's like the ultimate fail.
Oh wow, that's sad. You can't get someone in your own company to like, oh, I can try to make Spider-Man and make him relatable. I have to go out to another company.
So a company that dropped like something like 90% in sales or something
Yeah,
ridiculous.
that's like you being a steak restaurant saying, you know, I can't cook a steak very good. I'm gonna have to go train somewhere else or get someone to help me.
They would
with my
almost be the
steaks.
next McFarlane to come in.
It's like
Yeah.
going to Taco Bell for hamburgers.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then for them to admit to you how bad they are and they go get it from somewhere else, it'd be like, that's like, it's crazy that Marvel's doing that and they announce it like it's a good thing.
Yeah, that would be like a dark secret that you never tell anyone.
Guys, we have to do this thing. I know it's bad, but we got to do it. No, they're like, yay, check this out. Aren't you happy? No. Not
Not
happy.
at all. That's ridiculous.
I don't know. Marvel's done a lot of stunts over the years, and I don't think it's ever been this bad for this long. It's been, I don't know. It just feels weird.
Yeah.
It feels weird when I walk into a comic book shop because our comic shop, our local one's pretty big. They have this huge wall, and then you get to the Marvel part of the wall, and like the 5-6 inches thick, these issues. And it's just like sad that I see Wolverine on a cover or something and nobody wants it.
Yep, it happens. It's happening.
I'm gonna go back, build a time machine to talk to young me. Hey, there's gonna be Wolverine comics that nobody wants. Can you believe that? I'd be like, are you out of your mind?
Yep.
And then the editorial staff at Marvel said, you know, hold my beer. We're gonna get it done.
Yeah.
Man, oh man.
Yeah, that's just crazy. I'm trying to think of anything else.
I think I definitely covered everything.
Yeah, I think that's.
Much I say there's one more thing. No, but that High Garden Spice is just hilarious. That's gonna be. See, that's the thing. Like ripping apart that, it's just because they went out of their way to show how stupid they were. To show off the cartoon, even if it's silly, whatever. Oh, women. There's so many women. That makes it better.
I remember the one we covered, the one about the train that goes on.
Oh, Infinity Train?
Infinity Train looks fascinating.
Looks like it could have a cool story.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they didn't have to come out and tell me how many women worked on the
No,
show.
because it's just this is the story. Here it is. They know they got a good premise. That's why.
I don't know. But if there's anything else you want to talk about or plug or shout out, this would be the time to do it.
Well,
Because I'm I think I have exhausted all
Yeah,
my
I think
mental
we're pretty
abilities.
much, yeah.
I'm rushed out. I shouted out Wanpool. That was a victory.
Yeah. I'll definitely check that out, and I'll probably end up doing. I got some more comic book reviews to do because I need to start pushing good stuff and fun stuff. That's the thing. What the concept of fun has like eroded.
Yeah, and the thing is, I don't want us to be like the angry podcast, but it's so many negative things.
There's enough people ripping comics and yelling at comic books. You don't need one more person doing it.
No.
And you know, there's things like we tear apart Discovery because Star Trek, it means so much to me. I cannot not say something about it.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I'm doing a disservice to me if I don't say something about it. But when it comes to these comics, I want to promote the good, promote good creators, positive interactions with fans, things that you learn at your first job about dealing with customers. You always try to spin it positive.
Yep.
Sometimes it's bad and you can't help it, but you always try to be positive. And I think that's what's happening in the indie scene.
Yep, I agree. Because they like to say they love the characters and they're driving it. And people, like you said, want to read good comics and they're buying them.
They're dying to read good comics.
Yeah.
Oh, there's no market. There is a market. You just forgot about them and you alienated them.
Yeah, you totally alienated them.
But I think that's going to wrap up the second part of our live podcast. Not my fault. Totally not my fault. But thanks to our guest, Brian Ball.
Yes,
definitely check out Rags. It's an amazing comic. You will love it. I guarantee it. If you're into any type of Metal Gear Solid, zombie survival stuff, if you just want a good character, if you're into just military type stories, you'll find something like in here and you're going to enjoy it.
Yeah, the exclamation mark. Love that series.
But yeah, thank you so much for coming on. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks for having me, guys.
Okay, cool. We'll definitely do more of these.
Yes,
with more people. We'll try to definitely hook some more people up. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Thanks for being on.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, make sure to check out Rags online. Check him out on Twitter. A lot of fun stuff. If you like shit posting and a lot of funny jokes, you can't find a better place. It's a lot of fun. It's a good group of guys and girls who come together to just want to read fun comics and have a good fun time.
Yeah,
together.
it's a lot of fun.
Skip the drama. Pick up Rags. Thanks for watching, guys.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.